Hi everybody, and welcome to Vanessa's Van Life Journey. I am here today to show you my installation of the Maxxair Deluxe fan. I am a solo female van lifer, and I took on this project as with many of the projects in my van bill by myself. I did not have any help. I did this project in the middle of a parking lot, and so I'm here today to let you know that if you want to add a vent fan into your van or your RV or your trailer, you can do it by yourself. So the first thing that I did, because I do have a roof rack with 2 solar panels on it, I had to make sure that my solar panels were clear and out of the way, and I also had to make sure the ribs that run across the van that I was not going to hit that. So what I did was I pulled my Maxxair fan out of the box, and that piece of cardboard that came in the box, I'm going to use that later to draw my 4x4 so I can create a template for my hole. I also took measurements on the covers and stuff that come in there to see whether or not they were the size that I could use for my hole. So I eventually did use them for a template just to draw the lines, but they were not the correct measurements. But I eventually just used one side to draw the line, and then added the rest of my measurements and used the little thing to draw my line with, and I eventually ended up getting a straight edge. So what I suggest you do is to get all of your tools together. This process took me longer because it took me time to get my tools together. I had bits and pieces of my tools in different spots throughout the van. So make sure you get everything together, so once you get started, you will have everything you need. Also, if you are doing this project by yourself, make sure you put everything on the rooftop that you're going to need before you go up there, so you won't have to be going back and forth and up and down. So the first thing that I had was my little drill set. Make sure you have your jigsaw, a new blade in the jigsaw, and make sure you have your drill and the drill bits and a freshly charged battery. Make sure you have your caulking that you're going to need. And also I have here the tape. Make sure you keep your tape in a cool place until you get ready to use it. I did make a mistake and have it out in the sun, and it was difficult to work with because it was so pliable and soft. And you're also going to need a caulking gun. Make sure you have the screws that you're going to need. The screws that came with the Maxxair fan did not work for me. I don't know why they didn't go through my metal. Unless you're going to pre-drill a hole, then you may need to substitute for some self-tapping screws. That is what I did as well. Next up, I'm going to take my little vent cover thing, and I am going to draw a template, and from there I'm going to make it like a 1/2 inch bigger, because this was like 13.5 inches wide instead of 14. You need your measurements to be 14 by 14. So if you like, you can just go ahead and just make a 14 by 14 measurement to begin with, or you could just do it the way that I did it. It all turns out to be the same thing at the end of the day. I just used it to draw a template for me, and then I added my 1/2 inch over to the side, took my straight edge and went ahead and drew a line, and then I just cut everything out. So yeah, I also want to encourage you guys to do not be intimidated by this job. Watch a lot of videos, learn what you need to learn from different videos. Don't just watch one video, watch multiple videos, because people do things differently and you can learn something new from each video and then do your own thing. Also, just take your time, because you are doing this alone. Don't be in a rush. And if you want to learn from my mistakes, go and watch my longer version videos on this. I'm going to put the links in the description box below. This is just a shorter version of the video, and I did not include the mistakes that I made in this video. I just want to give you the format of how to do it. But the other videos, full length, step by step, with all the mistakes I made, came out before this video. So I will link those in the description box below. If you are not a handy person, or if you're a woman and you're scared of making mistakes, I just want to let you know that you are going to make mistakes, or you may make mistakes, or you may not make mistakes. It just depends. But if you do make mistakes, it's all fixable and it's not a big deal. I made plenty of mistakes in here. I didn't do things the way that I know that I should have did them. I didn't have on any safety glasses. I made my cleanup a whole lot worse for myself. So I just want to let you guys know that you can do this by yourself, but basically just take your time and take your time, and you're gonna get it together. So I was just double checking my measurements for my roof rack, my solar panel. I want to make sure I miss those, and I want to make sure I miss the rib that's at the top of the van. The only indication that I have where the ribs were is from the inside of the van, where I had my ceiling screwed to. So after that, I'm going to take my cardboard template, and I'm going to put that on my ceiling with a marker, and I am going to draw my little square. I also recommend that when you drill a hole, if you have a ceiling already, if you do not have a ceiling and you're going to put your template flush up against the metal, then you can go ahead and drill your 4 pilot holes. But if you do have a roof up already and you got your foam in there, I suggest that you just drill 1 hole from the inside and then go up to the top with your template and draw your template out and go from there. Because I did make a couple of mistakes and drill a few, it didn't go all the way through, but a few little additional holes because it wasn't going through, and every time I would put the drill bit back up there, it would drill another little hole. It wasn't a big deal because the holes didn't go all the way through, and I just covered them up. But you can see that whole process and my mistakes in the longer version of the video, but I did want to mention it in this video so you guys will not make the same mistakes that I did. If you already have your ceiling up, I don't want you to make extra holes and it didn't even line up from the top. So just drill 1 hole so you know basically where you need to lay your template at, and then go up on your ceiling on top of your roof and lay your template down and go from there. Like I said, you are going to need a drill, you're going to need a drill bit, and you are going to need a freshly charged, fully charged battery, so you can make sure that you're doing this job and your battery won't down. Especially if you're doing it in a parking lot like me and you weren't at home anywhere and you're in the middle of nowhere, you want to make sure you have the appropriate tools to do the job right. Also, let me know if you guys have any questions in the comment bar below. There I go, drilling my 1 hole. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment bar below about installing your Maxxair fan, or any fan for that matter. Pretty much all the fans are straight cut and to the point like this. And most of the fans are 14 by 14. So once you do this once and you want to replace the fan with another fan eventually, like if you wanted to upgrade to eventually the Maxxair fan, the hole is the same. So once you cut your hole, the other fan should just fit straight in there. So this is me taking the template to the top of the roof, aligning it with that one hole, and then I'm going to draw my square around it. You can see also where I had a couple of little extra pokey through holes that I end up having to cover with a silicone. So I'm just going to put my template down, get a marker, draw all the way around it, and then from there I have my square and I can take my jigsaw and cut this out. It's easy, you guys. This is not as daunting as you guys think it is. The process is very, very, very easy. You just have to take it step by step. Don't rush. You have all day. Pick a day when it's not gonna rain. If at all possible, you could do this in the shade somewhere, then by all means do it in the shade. But if not, like I was in an empty parking lot, if you're already living in your van, you could do this in a Home Depot parking lot or just wherever you feel comfortable. And I also suggest when you're working on your van and you're doing DIY projects and you're doing van builds, find somewhere that you're comfortable. I am very comfortable in this parking lot behind a retail store. The people come out throwing trash. They see me back here. Security come driving in the back. They know that I'm there, and they have never once bothered me. They have never once told me that I had to leave. So I feel really comfortable always working in this particular place because I know no one is going to bother me and no one is going to tell me to leave. And it's just I pull everything out of the van. I have dumpsters in the back where I could throw my trash at, and you know, I don't have any problems. So also, like I said, when you drill your hole, make sure you go ahead and use the bigger drill bit to begin with. The drill bit that I was using had a end on it, so I could have just went ahead and used the bigger drill bit so that my jigsaw fits straight through there. Take your time with the jigsaw. If you are not used to tools, just take your time, you guys. Make sure you're wearing your protective make sure you have on some gloves, make sure you have on some goggles. Learn from my mistakes. I didn't have any of that stuff on, and I typically don't work with that stuff on, but I know there's going to be somebody in this video, where are your gloves? Where are your goggles? I made a mess, you guys, and I typically work without gloves and work without goggles. Oh, by the way, if you're going to be on top of the roof and it's going to be hot, make sure you either have on some knee pads or your cardboard template. Make sure you are kneeling on that because the roof is going to be hot. I said top. Make sure you use the cardboard or you have on some knee pads so you won't burn yourself. And just take your time. It's nothing to it but to do it. You could do this. If I could do it, you guys, you could do it. I know you guys think I'm such a handy person and I'm a great DIYer, you guys, but I make so many mistakes. I pretty much don't let the task at hand overcome me or overwhelm me. I know that I can do it. I just have to take my time, watch videos over and over again. And then at the end of the day, after you watch so many videos, you're going to feel like you still don't know enough. But you have to bite the bullet, you guys. You just have to bite the bullet and go ahead and do it. It's nothing to it but to do it. And don't listen to people telling you that you cannot do it and telling you that you should get a professional to do this for you. How do you think professionals became professionals? They had to do it, and after they did it once, and then a professional is not going to tell you, oh, this is my first time doing this. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to take your money and they going to do it. And however it come out, that's it. You didn't watch them. You didn't see whether or not they made a mistake or not. You didn't see whether or not the lines were even or not. So just, y'all, I save money that I don't have. People are telling me you should get somebody to do this for you. You should get a professional. It costs money. You guys donated the money to me to buy these products, and it costs money to get them installed. I don't have that money, and I want to learn how to do this so I could end up helping someone else in the future. Some of you guys are out there, you don't know how to do this, you don't want to take the chance on doing it. I may have a workshop or a place to work one day where I can invite you guys and help you. So what I'm gonna do is I drew my line after I cut out my piece. I drew the line around it, and then I took my drill and drilled holes in every corner, and then I got the smart idea to drill a hole in the middle. This was epic. Drill your hole in the middle, then take your jigsaw and go and meet it to each piece. And I suggest, if you already have your ceiling up, you guys, that you use a hand saw to drill out to saw out the rest of the square. But you could drill your hole in the middle and go up and take the jigsaw like I'm about to do and go up to every corner, and then from there you can take your jigsaw to make the little circular around it. But then after that, you use a hand saw to get up tight, because it's going to be hard to take that jigsaw and get as close as you need to get up to your corners, and it's very hard to drill over your head. So I suggest after this, and after making the circular and taking the excess out, I suggest having a small hand saw. And some dollar stores sell the hand saws, and you can get them for about $4 or $5 at Home Depot. But that is my suggestion. And make sure you just take your time. You see how I'm just going around in a circle, taking the bulk of the wood off, and try to get as close as you possibly can to your edges. And then after that, you're just going to take the hand saw and do the rest. It's just simple. It's just easy. Some people say it takes like an hour to install the Maxxair fan, but you guys, it took me all day, especially with the cleanup I had to do afterwards. It took me all day, and that doesn't matter to me if a project takes someone else an hour. Most people have help. Most people didn't have to climb up and down the roof to go get what they needed. Y'all see the mess that I made. It was a mess. Make sure you lay a sheet, a blanket, or something on the floor on the inside to catch all the trash. Otherwise, this project gonna take you all day, because you're gonna have to do that cleanup the way that I did. So I'm just taking a look at my new what do they call that thing? A skylight. Y'all, I'm in the middle of a parking lot working, and it's noise, and that's just showing you that where there's a will, there's a way. As you guys can see, I was going around with the jigsaw and getting the excess off, but like I say, that is hard to do. So have a handsaw so you could do it from the outside, and please, if you're not comfortable with the jigsaw, please do not get all close and up personal like I did with the jigsaw. Please wear your safety glasses. Please wear some gloves. But please take my advice and get a handsaw if your roof is already in, if your ceiling is already in. Just take a handsaw to get close to this and finish that off so you can have a good clean job and you won't mess up your work, because as you can see, my lines are not straight. I made a hot mess, but my whole point in showing you this video is that I did it by myself. It's in there. It's not gonna leak. And if it do, I'll take it apart and reseal it and do it over. But I learned how to do this. It wasn't that hard. And now I know how to help other people in the future. And I hope this video with me making my mistakes and the other video with me making my mistakes was a help to you. Now I'm going to take the little covering and I'm going to fit it in there, and that's going to show me what excess I need to cut off, because it didn't fit in there perfect. So I do have to go back and cut off some excess. It's just a matter of taking your time, fitting things, doing a little bit at a time so you won't overdo it. And I'm going back and taking my jigsaw, and if I would have had a handsaw, I could have did this from up at the top and would have been able to get closer to it, and the lines would have been perfect, and I wouldn't have had to go back and repeat and whatever. But it is what it is, and I got it done, you guys. I'm so proud of myself just taking on a task of doing something that other people tell you that you can't do, and learning. And maybe I am learning the hard way, but eventually I'll become a professional at this and I won't make any mistakes, and I'll be like, y'all gonna be like, "Ooh, girl, you good." But in order for me to get good, I have to try. And when you try something that you've never done before, it's not going to be perfect the first time. It's not going to be without trial and error. So while I have my hole cut out, you guys, take your plastic thing. No one in all the other videos I watched told me to do this. Take your plastic thing while you have that hole cut out. Stick it in there. Stick your head through there and draw a line around it. If you have some help while you hold it up, let somebody hold it up from the inside. You go up to the top and draw the line around it. Make sure you're taking breaks, you guys. Do y'all see how dirty I got? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some sandpaper. If you have an electric sander, then you can sand it with your electric sander. But I'm just going to take some sandpaper to make sure I'm, unroughing the edges and just sanding it. And then I'm going to take my spray paint and spray paint around the edges. Now, my spray paint can was full and brand new. $3 and something a can, and it didn't work. It worked a little bit. That was it. I don't know why it didn't work, but I didn't let that. I wasn't going to stop, put everything back in my van, run to Home Depot. Nope. I got some little craft paint that I use to do. Child, I'm working in the middle of a parking lot. It had a big truck pass by making noise. So also I want to suggest to you guys, after you cut your hole, make sure you get on the top and completely sweep off your roof, so that way when you install your vents and you put the putty on there, the wind will not blow the debris and the trash into the putty. I did run into that problem because even though I did sweep, I didn't sweep the whole roof off. I am using a can of spray paint to spray my edges after I sanded them. The spray paint did not work. It worked a little bit, and then after that it stopped spraying. I don't know why. It was a brand new can of paint. So I took some of my craft paint that I had used to do my faux design marble, and I just went around the whole edges just to give it a protecting coating, hopefully to prevent rust. So I did that all around the edges, and I end up putting 2 coats on there, letting that dry. And yeah, like I said, just take your time. It's a step-by-step process. Figure out what all steps that you will have to do. Of course, you're not going to have to do all of this that I did if you do not have your ceiling and your foam board already up there. But if you have your ceiling and your foam board up there already, make sure you take the necessary precautions so your cleanup will be easier, and this won't take all day like it did me. And like I say, I'm in a comfortable place. I'm in the back of a parking lot. Nobody comes back there and bother me, and I am, you know, comfortable back there working by myself. So I had all day to take my time, and it ended up didn't raining. I ended up praying and asking God not to let it rain. And again, I took my putty and just went around. And again, I did tell you guys not to leave your putty out in the sun because it made it too soft, and I actually had to work with this really hard. And also, I wanted to let you guys know that if you want to use regular plumber's putty, it's the same thing, you guys. It's just that this is on a piece of tape. Take that plumber's putty, girl. Use that plumber's putty, and probably regular caulking too. Save some money on your car insurance. Save some money wherever y'all can, y'all. If I had to install another roof vent again, I would probably use regular plumber's putty, and I would probably use regular outdoor caulking. It's the same thing, in my opinion. It's the same thing. The plumber's putty is the same color as this putty. It feels the same. Since I had to end up taking this apart and just putting it on there, it felt the same as the plumber's putty. So to me, it's no difference, and you might as well save some money. So I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna take it up to the top. We're going to screw that up to the top of my roof, lay it down where you want it to, and your little, the little things that stick up, the little metal bars, y'all, they go sideways. And if no one told you, because I watched a lot of videos, and I had to watch several videos to find out which direction to point that fan. The pointed thing goes toward the back, and your little bracket things with the metal things on go to the side. So make sure those are to the side, and you're going to point your fan, the longer part, towards the back of the van. I watched multiple videos, and I was like, which direction do I point this? Nobody specified. So if you're not going to pre-drill a hole, those screws that came with it did not go through. So I just went ahead and used some self-tapping screws that I already had. And then after that, you want to take your caulking and just put it around. And I just don't cover the screws. I covered everything. But before you do all that, you guys, make sure you open up your fan and fit it on there, and make sure everything is adjusted right before you put your caulking on there. After you fit it, then you can go ahead and caulk everything. If you have time to let your caulking dry, you can let it dry, but really you don't have to, because it's not going to get in the way. Make sure you open your fan up completely before placing it on there, and also make sure you pull your wire out so that your wire will fall down in the hole, and you will be able to wire everything up. So that is just some little helpful tips. And if you haven't watched any other videos, I hope this helps. Or if even watching my video after watching other videos, I hope this gives you a better explanation and helps you understand things easily because I'm speaking in layman's term. I'm a regular person who did this myself, and I don't know no technical words. I don't know no technical words to explain it. And make sure you guys, when you put that cap on, it goes over the part, because at first I was trying to put it on the inside. It don't go on the inside. It goes over those little metal bars, slide down. And if for some reason your holes do not line up, I'm here to tell you guys, do not have a panic attack. If your holes do not line up, just take the cap off and play with the little metal things and adjust it until they do line up, and then screw it in, because mine did not line up. Y'all see them little metal things right there? You can lift them up a little bit, you can move them over a little bit, you play with them until it lines up with the holes, and then you can screw it in. That's what I had to do. Nobody told me in no other videos to do that, but I figured it out on my own. I did not panic because the lines didn't line up well. At first, I kind of was like, ooh, I'm going to have to take these screws off and make sure everything lined up. But then I just played with them and I adjusted them. And it took me extra time, like an extra 30 minutes of playing with that, because it didn't line up. You know, everything is not gonna turn out perfect, you guys, but please, please, please do not panic just because you have to work at it a little harder. And y'all, look, I'm on top of the world. That's how the vent fan look from the bottom of the car. Ooh, child, ain't that beautiful? That is so pretty, y'all. Now I got vent circulation coming in the van. Now I don't have to worry about condensation building up, because when I cook, the steam is not going anywhere. Ooh, child, look how pretty that look, y'all. All we got to do is take the plastic off, y'all. I did it. I did it, y'all. I did it, y'all. And if I can do it, ain't nothing to it but to do it. You could do it too. Don't listen to people telling you what you can't do, y'all. Put one foot in front of the other one and just do it. If you watch this full video, thank you so much. Let me know how this video helped you. Let me know if this video gave you the courage to do something. It don't just have to be a Maxxair fan. If it gave you the courage to do anything that you didn't think you could do, you guys, I have done my whole van bill by myself. And I don't care what people see that's wrong with my van, or tell me I should have did this, or tell me I should have did that. I did it all by myself, you guys, and I am happy that I tried. And now next time I decide to do a project, it will be better, it will be more perfected, because I took the step to step outside my comfort zone, to step outside my box and do something that I know I can do. And you guys, the solar is daunting. I'm scared, but I know I can do it. I got so frustrated the other day, I was crying because I was like, I need more stuff. I don't have everything I need. But you guys, I'm gonna do the solar. I'm not technical like that, but I can become technical. How do you learn how to do something if you never try? I'm gonna try until I die. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye now.